Hey everyone, it is now June and we like to explore Pride Month by producing some conversations with queer people of color in the mental health field. A reminder that you can support us by liking and sharing this podcast with folks. Also, when you are acquiring your continuing education credits for licensure, to check out the continuing education webinars on the Multicultural Counseling Institute's website. Well, hi Anushka, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. And so we're doing this recording for the Pride Month series. And so before we jump into that, your poster. Yeah, you want to tell me about that?
Sure, yeah. So I just submitted it, and the symposium is actually going to be Friday, and it's virtual. So people who did just paper presentations will post theirs, but then you can also look at the ABCT Student Symposium Twitter, and that's where they'll post my poster.
Oh, so it's virtual, so we can actually log on and see your presentation?
I believe so. I won't be presenting because I'm doing a poster, so they'll just post that to Twitter, and then the discussion will happen via Twitter, which I think is actually pretty cool because you get to see the discussion happening like live. But the people who are doing papers will do their paper presentations virtually.
Yeah. Well, I think that's quite ingenious because, in many ways, it makes it so you don't have to travel.
Right.
It can definitely save on costs for students.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, wow. So, Anushka, in terms of the Pride Month series, I'm wondering, what did you find?
Sure, yeah, I'll start with the history. So basically the spark for Pride Month was the Stonewall riots, and that was on June 28th of 1969. These riots were spontaneous protests by the LGBT community because of a police raid at the Stonewall Inn, which was a well-known gay bar in New York City's Greenwich Village. A year later, in June of 1970, the gay pride marches were held in New York City, LA, and Chicago, and it was to mark the anniversary of the uprising at the Stonewall riots. Following that, in June of 2000, Bill Clinton officially designated June as Gay and Lesbian Pride Month to honor the Stonewall riots and the ongoing gay activism. And then in 2009, Barack Obama actually renamed it to Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month to be more inclusive of everyone.
Oh, that's cool. I actually did not realize that.
Mm-hmm. And then I just want to, as always, acknowledge a few LGBTQIA psychologists of color. And I wanted to start with Dr. Beverly Green. She has published a lot on issues affecting LGBT plus communities and individuals of color, and she's advocated a lot for multicultural competence in psychology. 9 of her publications have actually received national awards for their contributions to the psychological literature on women, people of color, sexual minorities, African American women, and even families. And then next up, I want to acknowledge Dr. Annalise A. Singh. She's a PhD in LPC and is the Chief Diversity Officer and the Associate Provost of Diversity and Faculty Development at Tulane. Her work actually focuses on the resilience of transgender people, especially transgender people of color and transgender youth. She also works with trauma survivors, immigrants, South Asian survivors of sexual abuse, and empowerment training. Finally, I want to point out Dr. Kevin Nadal, who is a Filipino-American psychologist, and his research is focusing on the impact of microaggressions on marginalized communities, and he does advocacy work within the LGBTQ community.
Wow. Well, we definitely have quite a bit of psychologists who are queer and have done considerable work in the field. So with that, I hope everyone takes care of yourselves and each other, and thank you for your support. Remember to sign up for our continuing education courses on our website and share this podcast with your friends and colleagues.
I'm Anushka Parag, and I'm signing off.
And this is your host, Jack Zen.